Arahang arahoti namina Arahang papang nakare Arahata palang patto Arahang namate namo Samma sambuddha jnanena Samma sambuddha desana Samma sambuddha lokasmin Samma sambuddha te namo Vidya charana sampanno Passa vidya pakasita Atita nagatuppanno Vidya charanate namo Sugato sugatattanang Sugato sundaram picha Nibbanang sugating yanti Sugato namate namo Lokaviduti namena Atita nagate vidu Sankara satta mokase Lokavidu namate namo Anuttaro jnana silena Yolokasa anuttaro Anuttaro puja lokasmin Tang namasami anuttaro Sarati sarati deva Yolokasa susarati Sarati puja lokasmin Tang namasami sarati Devayakka manusanang Lo අදන්තං දමයන්තානං පුරිසාජඤ්ඤතේ නමෝ භගවා භගවා යුත්තෝ භග්ගං කිලේසවාහතෝ භග්ගං සංසාර මුත්තාරෝ භගවා නාමතේ නමෝ සනසුමිරන් දොරටු ඇරිලා ලෝ සතුන් සිත් සිසිල් වේවා සියලු දුක් දුම්නස් නිවිලා දහම් සුවඳින් හද නිවේවා ගැටලු ඉඳ හිට නැගෙන තරමට විසඳුමත් සමග ඒවා සමාදානය සිසිල ඇතිවී ලෝක සාමය උදාවේවා තුනුරුවන් සතු ගුණ බලෙන් ලොව හැම දෙනාටම සැප ලැබේවා වැරදි අදහස් නපුරු සිතිවිලි මෙත් සිසිල් බලයෙන් මැකේවා ලොවට වැඩ ඇති උතුම් ජීවිත බුදු බලෙන් බොහෝ කල් දිනේවා ලෝපුරා බුදු සසුන බැබලී ලෝක සාමය උදාවේවා Okay, let me pay respect to Lord Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, welcome all of you to the Dhamma group. First, I would like to pay my respects to Venerable Bhante Devarakita Thero and to the Venerable Punyaratana Thero for inviting me to conduct the Paramita Buddhist Vihara Youth Group. So hope you all had a good week and looking forward to the SEAL Day. So today we have our SEAL program. So I think it's good for us to start the program with observing the 8 precepts. So have your mics on and let's observe the 8 precepts. So keep in mind, this is going to help us to manage our emotions, to purify our body, our speech, our mind, and to calm our mind. And it will help us to also bring the wisdom. So keep all that in the mind and make a determination. Today we will keep the 8 precepts. And so before we observe the 8 precepts, let's venerate Lord Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times. Take the phone. Just put that. Have your mics on so I can hear you, please.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Nyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Nyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Nyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Nyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Nyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sarana gamanang sampunnang. Panatipata viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Brahmacharya viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Brahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Avada viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Ramiraya maccapamadatthana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramire majjapama tattana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kala bhojana viramani sikkhapadang samadhyami.
විකාලභෝජනා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
Macha gita vadita
නච්ච ගීත වාදිත
visuka dasana mala
සෝක දස්සන මාලා
anda vilepana dharana
ගන්ධ විලේපන ධාරණ
mandana vibhusanatana viramani sikkhapadang samadhyami.
මණ්ඩන විභූෂණත්තානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
Ranena sati uchasayana mahasayana
උච්චාසයන මහාසයන
Veramani sikkhapadang samadhyami.
වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
Ranena sadding atthanga samannagatang silang dhammang sadhukang surakkitang katva appamadena sampade tabhang. So may you all keep the precepts, strive on with diligence, and may you all find peace of mind, and may you all develop wisdom, and may you all find freedom from all kinds of suffering as soon as possible. May you all attain Nibbana as soon as possible. Sukhi hotu. Okay, so excuse me for wearing this. Otherwise, feel very cold. Okay, so is there anyone who is joining today for the first time? So I will have to go through the 8 precepts, or everyone is familiar with. Let's have a look who is here. Looks like you all are familiar with the 8 precepts, are you? So I don't have to go through with what you're observing.
I think everyone was here the past few weeks.
All right. Another thing what we can do also on the 8 precepts days, when you are sending the email, you know, the day, I think it took me 2 days to explain the 8 precepts. Maybe you can send it to them so they can listen to it before they join, no?
Yes, Mahimans, I can do that.
Short and sweet. You can write the 8 precepts and write the meaning underneath, and then say if you want it in more detail, listen to these 2 clips, so I don't have to go through it every day. Okay, so today you all are lucky, so everyone has been there before, so you all know what you're observing and what you're supposed to do. So today we all try to purify the mind and not to give in to the sensual pleasures or desires or into any of the emotions, but we try to remain calm and collected and take a lot of time to know who we are, to watch inside who we are, to be sensitive to the body, to the mind, and to know how these things work. And that's when we can really find out what's going on and what's happening to us. So on days like this, that's what we do. Instead of paying attention to outside, we take time to pay attention to within. So that's where the secret is as to how to be calm and how to develop the wisdom. It's only when one starts to look within, and the word is really introspection. When we start to do the introspection, we start to realize, you know, how our body, mind functions and what's going on here. And only when we see this, we'll be able to understand within. Seeing this, we can have our own understanding coming from within that we call wisdom. So it's not a borrowed knowledge from a book or from someone, but you start to realize things and understand things from within. So you start to get, enlightened. So this is our whole aim. Our the end goal is to get enlightened. Enlightened means at least to become an arahant. Arahants also enlightened beings. So our goal is to get there so we can live a peaceful, happy life, and also we can help others to live like that, to be to experience a life free of stress. So when we are heading there, this is what we need to do. We need to take time to get to know ourselves. It's when we do that, we start to see our defilements, we start to see our problems. Then when we see the problem, we get an opportunity to fix it, or we can find a solution to it. So this is a self-inquiry. So on days like this, that's what we do. We take time for this self-inquiry, and we learn things from our own experience. Okay, so today we can take more time to meditate, and it is during that silencing the mind, stilling the mind, then you start to feel calm. It's in that calmness that you really start to realize things. So you start to see what's going on within, and you will start to get the wisdom. So it's important that we spend time in solitude or in silence. So during that time, we get an opportunity to watch our own body, mind, how it works. Okay. So do you all have any questions that you would like to ask before we go into meditation? First, are you in a mood to meditate, or you think you will fall asleep with the weather and everything? Or do you want to listen to something first and then probably get energized, inspired, and then meditate? Or we can go straight to the meditation so we can have a bit more time. How do you all feel?
If you don't want to speak, you can click yes or no. There's that option now on Zoom. So you can click so we can...
Like to listen to something and then get inspired and then go to meditation, or you like to go straight to the meditation and we have more time to meditate? But do you think you can do it without falling asleep? Are you feeling sleepy? If you're feeling sleepy, it's not good to start with the meditation. So just let us know, how do you feel?
I'm not sure about everyone else, but I'm okay. I'm not very sleepy. So it's okay no matter how we start.
Okay. You don't mind how it starts. Okay. What about the others? Can I get some ideas, please? What's the time now? Almost 9:30.
Anji, Anupa, Dulin, and Sadhaka, you can either say like how you feel, or you can click yes or no. Oh, we've got Anupa saying we can meditate. Anupa is a yes as well, and I'm a yes too.
All right, so then we can meditate. Okay. So then sit comfortably. Keep your back straight and relax. Be aware of the breath or whatever that focuses on. Just be in the present moment. Relax. Be aware of the sensations that you feel, how the breath is, what's happening in the mind. Wherever your attention goes, just be with it, experience it. Try not to make stories, try not to think and think and think. Just experience it silently, without chatting, like an observer. You just observe it. Just observe that experience without chatting, only being aware of it. And keep a smile, it will relax you more. Just be in the present moment like an observer. So if any thoughts come, let it be. Let them come. And if you notice that, you will see they don't stay. They just come and then they will disappear. So just observe that process. When a thought comes, if you don't recognize it, then you will create the second thought attached to that. Then it will lead like the sections in a chain. You will kind of, it will lead into a chain reaction from one to another, one to another, one to another. So what we are trying to do is to stop adding the extra bits into this. If the thought comes, you become aware of it. And when you become aware of it, it will come and go. The same way it came, it will go away. So all you do is you don't really get engaged with that. We don't link another thought to it. When we are unconscious, this is what we do. We link more and more and more and more and more thoughts, like the train is built up with all that carriers. Link one to another. That's how we have this trail of thoughts. So if something comes, let it be. You're going to be conscious. So don't allow that unconscious process to take place. That's all. We are not trying to stop these thoughts coming. If it comes, you're only going to be aware and that's it. You're not going to unconsciously allow another thought to link with that. If you catch yourself linking and it's gone a bit far away, then we can practice that 4 hours. Release, relax, we smile and restore back to the practice. So at the moment, we are training ourselves just to be in the moment, not doing anything, not thinking anything, but just to experience things as it is. So when you see you have linked up other thoughts into this thought, you release that. And with the these unwholesome thoughts, we know we get tensed. So what you do now, release that tension. So relax and re-smile. So it will take the relaxation to a deeper level and it will lift up your mood. So re-smile. And then you go back to what you were doing, restore back to the practice. If you really cannot not think, then let's train to think only constructive things, only positive things. So if any thought comes and without even you knowing, if you have linked many other thoughts to it, like getting into a chain, when you recognize that, if you know you were in the past, or this is about going to the future, you can convince yourself. You can now say, past is a dead past. No matter how much time I'm going to spend in there, nothing really will happen. I'm only getting lost in my imagination. And when I get lost like this, the way I create the thoughts, these thoughts will stimulate certain glands and the hormones will come as a result of that stimulation. And when the hormones come, I'm going to be on fire. I might get angry, I might get worried, I might get fear, I might get sad, I might get lustful. So the same with the future too. When you think about the future, the same thing happens. We get aroused. We might get anxiety and worries. We will get aroused. That's what will happen in the end. So we are not interested in getting aroused now. We want to calm the system. That's why we need to be conscious about these thoughts. So you can teach this to yourself. You can convince your mind that it is not a good thing to keep on thinking unconsciously, because there's repercussions. You will have to go through suffering. You will get tensed. The body will go into fight or flight reaction, and a lot of suffering will come, stress. We are interested in now freeing the stress. We want to experience lightness, comfort, peace of mind, and happiness. Then we need to consciously choose the thoughts we think. We need to be very selective about it, what thoughts we're going to think. So if you really want to think, you're allowed to think like this, consciously, positively, reaffirming these truths to the mind. So the mind will learn and learn to let go of the past and the future. And it'll learn to live in the present moment happily, seeing the benefits of you living in the present moment without digging into this rubbish or without getting lost in this mental garbage. Just tell yourself, leave the nonsense and come and live freely in the present moment. Peaceful and happy. So you can tell like that. And go to that 4 hours, release, relax, re-smile and restart. If you feel you're falling asleep or getting sleepy, you can do some walking while you're staying in the present moment. Just choose a track and walk up and down. But keep your back straight, whether you're sitting, standing, or walking. Just keep your back straight. And keep the body relaxed. So relax. Be in the present moment. Enjoy the peace in this moment. If you're not thinking, there's immense peace in this present moment. Just enjoy that. If it's really difficult to stay in this moment, not thinking anything, if you find it a real struggle, then you can think a good, wholesome thought continuously. So you're going to choose a good thought and you're going to think it over and over and over. So there's no space for these unwholesome thoughts to come. But the minute you're going to be unconscious of what you're doing, if you slip into that unconsciousness, then again another unwholesome thought will come. So try to remain conscious and develop a wholesome thought. So you can start with developing that feeling of gratitude. Be grateful to your parents, to your teachers, to the trees, for giving us the oxygen and keep helping us to stay alive. And they're providing the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts, everything to nourish us, to keep us alive, to run this body, all the fuel we can get from these trees and the plants and everything. So have gratitude for that. And also the animals, they're doing a big part also to keep this ecosystem in a balance. So have gratitude to them and to all the human beings who are working and doing things to help each other, to take care of each other. So we are like in a big grid. We all are connected. So we can't survive without one another. We can't live without farmers. We can't live without the bankers. We can't live without schools. And like that, if you look into all the trade, the institutions, the work, it's all linked up together. We cannot survive without one another. So have gratitude to all of them and expand it to all beings. So you can wish. Afterwards, you can start to wish. So you start from where you are, where you feel the most gratitude. You start from there and develop that, and you wish, first wish them. May they be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. May no harm happen to them. May no sickness befall on them. May they be physically and mentally well, and may they be comfortable. May no discomfort come to them. May they stay comfortable. May no emotions disturb them. May they be peaceful, and may they be happy. May the unhappiness goes away, and may they be able to stay happy. So you start to wish it from somewhere you feel close, and then you start to expand that slowly, slowly in concentric circles from you, radiating outwards to the infinity. May all beings be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. You can visualize like you're inside a bulb, and you know how the bulb, without picking and choosing, it will radiate the light all around to everyone. No friends, no enemies. It will just give the light equally to everyone. The same way you spread this loving kind thought to everyone, whether you like or not. Everyone, may everyone benefit from my unconditional loving kindness. This is called unconditional loving kindness. So let's develop that. Make it a genuine feeling. So when you start having that grateful feeling, it's easy to connect, because there's no point we uttering some empty words. This needs to be felt inside your heart, And it has to be a genuine feeling that you care. You are concerned about the welfare and the well-being of others. So let's express it. May all beings be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. So start from where you are, from the immediate environment, then slowly, slowly expand it to the infinity. So do this consciously. Now, while you're doing this also, if you slip into this unconsciousness, again, habitual thought might come. So minute you notice it, you release that, you let it be, and you relax, we smile, and restore. Come back to the practice, that's it. So try that. You can drink water if you want. If you feel sleepy, you can drink water, or you can, walk while you're doing this. Just stay awake and do this consciously. If you get distracted, just practice for us. Release that unwholesome thought, relax, we smile, and restore back to Just go up to the infinity value and then let go of the area and dimension. And then you can just keep on thinking, beings be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. We can develop compassion also. Compassion is the deep feeling that we have to help free others from the suffering. So you can visualize someone who is really suffering. You can start from the hospitals, from the ICUs. Now today, there is this COVID thing going on. So a lot of people are suffering. So you can start thinking of these patients who are in ICU, not just from suffering from COVID, but from other critical conditions. So you can wish them, may they be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. May they be free from that illness, ailment, aches, and pains. May they find the physical and mental wellness, well-being. May they be free from all that aches and pains and discomfort. May they be comfortable. May they be free from the fears, the sadness, the anger, all the emotions. And may they find peace of mind. And may they be free from being sad and unhappy. May they find happiness. May they be free from all kinds of physical and mental suffering. May they recover soon. May they be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. You can start with the closest hospital ICU, and then you can cover all the hospitals in the world slowly, and then you can expand it to all the patients in all the hospitals in the world. And then you can expand it to, whether people are in the hospital or not. There are many people at home who are suffering physically and mentally. And then you can expand to them. Then you can visit the prisons. You know how it's like living hell. And the farmhouses, how human beings have created the hellish experience for animals. They are suffering, traumatized. And then like this, you can visualize the beings who are in extreme suffering conditions, and wholeheartedly you can wish them to be free from that suffering. So start from where you are, near to you. Then slowly expand, and then you can expand it to all beings. If anyone is suffering from anything, normally that is the case, except an arahat, enlightened being. Others are suffering, if it's not physically, mentally. So today it's not really the physical pain is more, it is the mental pain that's unbearable. That's why people suicide. Not because they have a physical ailment or they're going through physical problems. Their mental pain is much more than the physical pain. When it's unbearable, they suicide. So you can wish. So every being at the end of the day is suffering from one form of another in different degrees. So you can start from the extreme suffering state, visualize them and wish them, and then slowly expand it and cover all beings and wish them to be free from that type of physical and mental suffering, and for them to be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. This is called we developing unconditional kindness. Kindness is when you're the compassion, when you are resonating with others' suffering and getting that natural, genuine wish that you want to help them, you want to help to elevate their suffering. So develop that unconditional compassion where you want to lend your hand, your thought, your words to help them set free from that suffering that they are going through. So this is a deeper state of unconditional loving kindness. When you have unconditional love and kindness, it goes deeper into compassion. Compassion is more focusing on suffering, wishing and helping beings to be free from suffering. While you're doing this, if you get distracted, practice the full art. Now, when we do these practices properly, internally you should become very peaceful and happy. When we are happy, we don't feel jealous about others' happiness. So from compassion, it goes deep into altruistic joy. That means you will be able to look at people who have a better condition than you and see they being happy and rejoice in that happiness and be happy. So after you finish developing the compassion, slowly you can focus on the heavenly being. They have the highest happiness, more than the living beings on earth. Heavenly beings, they experience more joy and happiness. So you can wish them, for them to increase their happiness and for them to be able to experience it for a long period of time. So you can wish all the divine beings, heavenly beings, to be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. May they rejoice their happiness that came due to their good karma. So may they enjoy. Then we can slowly, slowly focus on earth. There are people who have a better life than us. They have better things in every way. Physically, mentally, they are better than us. Materially, educationally, with name, fame, power, they are better, doing better than us. So you can focus on people on earth who are born to the royal families and then who are doing well, and people who are experiencing things, good things due to their good karma or due to their good hard work. You can bless them. May they enjoy their good fortune. May their good fortune increase. May they rejoice in the goodness, in the good things they have. May they be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. Normally we get jealous. So this is the practice to dilute the jealousy, to get rid of dissolve the jealousy. We need to learn to rejoice in others' happiness. So this is called developing the altruistic joy. But in order to do this, we need to be happy. If we are unhappy and grumpy, you'll never be able to rejoice others' happiness. Always the jealousy will come. But when we are contented and happy, when there's no competition, we are quite contented. We are satisfied with what we have. Then this will come naturally. So try to develop that. Starting from the heavens, then we can focus on earth, people on earth, the people who are doing well in the royal families, and the people who are doing well, that they have got a lot of wealth, fame, power. We can wish them well. May they rejoice in their good fortune. May they be blessed with good health they got. May they be blessed with more and more wealth, prosperity. May they be peaceful and happy. If you get distracted, you can practice for hours. Release the negative, unwholesome thought. Then relax the body, re-smile, and restore back to the practice. Now we are developing altruistic joy, being able to be happy, rejoice in others' success. slowly bring that to an end, and then we can practice to develop equanimity. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka. So this starts with loving kindness, then it gets deep into compassion. Then when someone is internally tranquil and satisfied and happy, that's when the altruistic joy will come. And then we can develop equanimity, where you start to see why suffering beings are suffering, why some are experiencing really good fortune, why they are living a good life. Normally, our heart kind of goes from one end to the other when we see these two extremes. But bringing into equanimity means you are peaceful and calm, and now you're not moving, you're not shaken. When you see all the extremes in life, you start to understand, oh, why are they suffering? It's because due to their own bad karma that they have performed, due to their negative, unwholesome thoughts, due to their bad speech, due to their bad action. As a result of the consequences from their own negative, unpure body, speech, and mind, they're experiencing that difficult experience of going through that bad experience. Why people are living a good life? Due to their purity, due to their pure mind, pure words, pure action. It's because they have done something good. So they are feeling good, they are experiencing something good. So we don't have to jump up and down. If we see this, everyone is eating what they got on their plate. Everyone is eating what they have worked on for. They got that as a result of what they have done, what they did. So you can bring your mind to this equanimous place we call upekha, where you are not moved by any emotion now. From outside factors, you're not moved about anything. You're so composed and calm, and you see what's causing what, why this is happening, why someone is experiencing like this, why someone is experiencing something else. We start to see the underlying causes and conditions, and we become very calm and composed and seeing things as what's happening. So we are not moved by the emotions. This has to happen naturally, but what we are doing now is like the kids playing with the building blocks and building the house. We are just doing it artificially, so at least you can, experience it, even temporarily. When you control your thoughts, you can experience it. But these states are to happen naturally when you purify your mind, when you free from emotions permanently, you experience these things naturally. It's going to be your natural state. You can dwell in loving kindness, unconditional loving kindness state, or in that compassionate state, or in that altruistic joy state, or in the equanimous state. They are deep, peaceful states of mind that happens to us naturally when we purify our body, speech, and mind. But now what you're doing is we are just trialing. We are just artificially doing it, manipulating our thoughts. At least until you manipulate your thoughts in the good way, you can feel this, but it won't last long. That's the thing. If you want to experience these things like long-lasting experiences, you need to spend more time on purifying your mind, on developing these good thoughts more often, taking longer time period. But for now, you can practice it. If you get distracted, you can go to 4 hours. Now you're coming to a place where you're not thinking of anything. You're just allowing the heart to settle deeply into the moment. You're not thinking of this, that, and the other. If any thought comes, you can rationally reason out and let it be. You be in the middle, unshaken. Be in the present moment, fully awake. No sadness, no happiness, but you're so peaceful and calm and staying in the middle, awake, just watching, being an observer, and understanding things in a deeper way, in a meaningful way. A lot of people don't have this balance. Their minds are always to this side or to that side. They don't have the balance. It's a very balanced state of mind. Where you are not affected by the environment, by the outside things, but you're so calm and composed and equanimous. You're awake and you can be in the present moment. Just being there. At the end of the day, we all are organisms in an environment. So we all get stimulated. Due to this stimulations, the chain reactions take place. You know, when our senses start to work, we start to perceive, then we start to make concepts about it, we start to think, then according to the things, according to your thoughts, we start to feel, the emotions come, and according to your emotional state, we start to act. This is how it all goes. So when you come to deep stillness, you start to see we all are the same. We just get stimulated, and when we don't know this, how to control ourselves, how not to react, we just become like, you know, very unconscious zombies, and we just react to the stimulations, and we get emotional, and we shout, we scream, we throw our hands, our legs, and spring into action that hurts others and create the bad karma by thinking, talking, behaving badly. Then it leads to suffering, to stress. So we end up in a mess, experiencing a lot of suffering. So if you don't want to suffer, we need to reverse this. We need to reverse the stress. To reverse the stress, we need to develop the understanding this is what's happening to us. So when our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, when they start to get, then they get stimulated and start reacting, we need to be very conscious and aware of what they're doing, how you're forming the thoughts to that reaction, that stimulation. Because from that, the train goes. You start to feel. So we need to go back to this chain reaction where it started. It started from your senses reacting to light, to sound, to the smells, to the sense of touch and your thoughts. So we need to go back to that basic point where it all started and learn not to react, just let things be and see the reality, the real nature of things. So being in this equanimous position helps us to develop this wisdom when we are so calm and peaceful. Ultimately, it's that understanding that wisdom will liberate us from reacting to these things. So if we can stay not reacting, that's it. We can be stress-free. But we need to wake up to this. Whole thing about meditation is an effort to wake up. To wake up, we need to be calm, to be able to see this happening within. How your eyes react to light, and then when you start to see colors, what happens? You don't see colors, you see objects. You see this, that, and the other, good, bad, my friend, my enemy. Oh, it starts from there. Suffering comes. So this is an effort to wake up. It is in that real realization, in that real understanding, getting enlightened, we can be still like this. We can be peaceful and calm in the midst of all vicissitudes of life. We will be able to remain calm, peaceful, and happy. When you come to that state, you can help another being. You can. They will ask you, how come you are so peaceful? You have so many problems, but you're so focused, you're so calm, serene, peaceful, you're very kind, compassionate, you're not taking revenge, you're not angry. How come? Then you can start to teach them the art to live peacefully and happily. Then another can benefit from you. It's like that with the thought. First, you must self-realize this, then you can help others. You can reach out and help others by leading by example. So our effort is to get there, to be natural, to go deep and deep within us so we can understand what this body, what this brain, what this mind is doing and how it's creating suffering. And how we can release it, how we can be free from that. What you experience now, what we experimented now is by selectively thinking, by controlling our thoughts, and we choose to selectively think only good thoughts. And then you'll be able to see the results from that. When we just do that, we only select good thoughts and think over and over a good thought. A loving, kind thought, a compassionate thought, or altruistic, joyful thought, then what happens to you? So we've been doing this for nearly maybe 1.5 hours. So you should be able to feel like the result. You should be able to experience how you feel by now. So you can slowly bring your awareness back to the body. Let's see the results of our experiment. Let's see the results from our nearly not 2 hours, but nearly there, the meditation, the result of that. Bring our awareness back to the body. Now, scan your body from the tip of the toes to the top of the head. Scan it. And if you feel there's some tension in here and there, relax more. Relax the body. Keep your back straight. Bring your awareness to the breath. See how your breath is. Be with the breath. Don't concentrate on any particular point. You're going to be just normal, natural. Wherever your attention goes, you just note it. Just note whether it's an in-breath or out-breath. Now, let's take a slow but a deep breath, counting from 1 to 6. Now hold on to your breath for 6 seconds. Now let's release the breath, releasing your shoulders, relaxing. Release the breath, counting from 1 to 6. Then pause your breath, not breathing in for 6 seconds. Now again, let's take a slow but a deep breath. Taking 6 seconds. Don't be lazy, fill your lungs to the max. Then hold on to your breath. While you're holding on to your breath, just look into your mood now. How do you feel now? What's the status of your mood? Do you feel agitated? Do you feel angry? Do you have anxiety and worries? Or do you feel sleepy? Or you are calm and composed and silent? Or you are happy? What is the state of the mood? So recognize whatever that is there right now, just recognize it. That's all. We need to learn to recognize our mood. When you can recognize it for what it is, we know what to do. If it's agitated, we know to calm it. If it's calm, we know just to let it be or to improve it. So hope you all are feeling calm and composed. You can slowly breathe out, taking 6 seconds. Squeeze in the stomach muscles and expel all the air out from the lungs. And pause your breath for 6 seconds. For the last time, let's take another deep breath. Fill your lungs to the maximum. And hold on to your breath. While you're holding on to your breath, don't hold on to your shoulders. Relax the whole shoulders and let go. Relax the body, but hold on to the breath. Again, check the mood in this moment. How is it? Is it the same like before? You can even compare it to before you sat for the meditation, before you sat for the session today. How was your mood when you woke up? And how is it now? Is there a difference? Has it improved? You feel a lot more calm and quiet and peaceful. So hopefully if you've been doing this right, you should be able to feel it like that. You should be able to see the improvement in the mood. So recognize the results of your practice. Like I said, you do good, you will feel good. See whether you could feel that. Then you can slowly breathe out. Let the breath settle into its natural rhythm. Let the breath settle into its natural rhythm. And you can listen to this sound of this bell until you can hear no more. Be in the present moment and without thinking, just learn to be with the experience. See if you could experience what this frequency does to you. You will only be able to experience it only if you pay attention, and then only you will be able to see. But if you think, you can't. So just experience this without thinking. Okay, now you can slowly open your eyes to end the meditation. So tell me, how do you feel? Hmm? How do you all feel? The 2 hours is gone. You just started and done. How do you feel? Tell me. Let's go one by one.
Finally?
Yeah, I feel really relaxed.
Yeah, did you fall asleep?
No.
No. So were you awake throughout the 2 hours?
Yeah, I was awake.
Did you feel like long or it was just gone?
I mean, it was a little bit long, but I tried not to think about that.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah,
And are you happy now?
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And I see you too when I talk. Who is next? Okay. Who is next?
Sarika?
Oh yeah, I found it very relaxing, and I feel
Yeah.
calm. Yeah,
And how do you
I felt a bit.
feel the 2 hours?
It was it felt a bit long. Like not also not that long.
Yeah, you felt a bit long, and did you feel like you want to stop it, or you managed to do it and you see the result now?
Yeah, I did it, but I felt a bit sleepy.
You felt a bit sleepy. So did you manage to get rid of the sleepiness, or you fall asleep without knowing?
Towards the end, I got rid of the sleepiness.
Right. So are you awake now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. All right, Pute. Is there anything you would like to share?
No, not really. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Who is next?
Dulene?
Yeah, I feel like really composed.
Yeah. Did you fall asleep or felt sleepy?
At the start, I was a little bit sleepy, but towards the end, I got rid of it.
Yeah. Oh, well done. What did you do?
I just focused on my breath and what you were saying.
Okay. So did you enjoy it?
Yes,
All right. Okay, Pute. Thank you for sharing.
thank you.
Next.
Anupa?
I feel very relaxed
Yeah. Did you manage to do whole 2 hours?
Yeah, but I got a bit sleepy in some parts. But I just walked up and like did a bit of walking meditation and then sat down again.
Good. Very good. So are you sleepy now or it's gone?
It's gone now.
Very good. Okay. So now you know how to handle sleepiness too.
Yeah.
Did you felt like it was too long or you're okay with that or how? These 2 hours?
It was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, Putte, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Take care. Who else?
But yeah, I feel really calm as well. I think I was doing it like a lot better in like the first hour. I didn't really get distracted during that first hour, and then towards the end, I got a bit more distracted, so I had to go back to the 4 hours and like reconcentrate.
Okay. Good. So I guess you didn't feel sleepy at the end.
Not really.
Yeah, okay. So how do you feel after 2 hours?
I feel really calm and like I feel a lot more like awake now. Like
Good.
yeah, so I don't really feel that sleepy.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Putta, for sharing.
So thank you.
Anyone else? Is it Ekmini left?
Yes, Mahima.
So how did you find the 2 hours?
Better than usual, actually. Usually I have this fear that the Zoom recording will drop out and then so I always open my eyes, but today I did it less because every time I hear your voice, I know we're still connected. So that helped. And then I tried to focus more. I did have a question though that came up, but I tried not to think about it too much.
Yeah.
I have had it before too, but when the Buddhamdro, when like he passed away, yeah. You know how there's like in physics we learn that there's like energy that can't be created nor destroyed. So then when the Buddhamdro, like when he attained enlightenment and so the cycle ends there, what happens to that energy? Like is in terms of like
It's like this, that energy was there because the fuel was there to burn it. Fuel was there to keep it alive, to keep going on. It's like, the flame itself is due to many causes coming together, that happens as a result. Yeah, the flame depends on many things, and it just happens when the causes and conditions come together to give rise to that flame. So without those causes and conditions, the flame cannot exist by itself. We are like that. There's a law called the determinism. Those days, people thought we get thunder when the god is angry. We get rain when the god is crying, and we things like that. And then later, people started using their brains, and they started to see when certain causes and conditions come together, the thunder comes. When certain causes and comes together, the rain falls. So they learned that it wasn't someone or something doing it, but it's just these causes and conditions coming together produces certain results. So the flame is also like that. When the oil, the wick, the oxygen, when all those conditions are there, the flame comes to be. You know, if it's the candle, I'm sure you may not have seen other burning things anymore. Maybe what you see is a candle. So visualize a candle. So there is the wax, that's a fuel. The wax, and there's a wick, and then it needs oxygen from the environment. Only all three of it is there, the flame will come. But what happens? The fuel, the wax runs out. Can the flame exist?
No.
No. The same, Buddha pointed out what keeps us existing. What keeps this organism going on? What keeps it running? So he pointed out the energy that does it. And then he said, if we take care of that and we don't keep adding the fuel, but we let the fuel to run out, then one day the fuel will run out, and so then there's no more to exist, because we are here as a result of a lot of causes and conditions coming together. Yeah?
Yeah.
So our life is like that. So Buddha's attaining the parinibbana is like that, like a flame going off. You can't say it went here, it went there. No more.
Yeah.
No more the causes and conditions for it to exist. So it stopped existing. So it's like that.
Thank you.
So what Buddha pretty much said is, if I go into a bit deeper into that, he said, well, there is a body, there is a brain, there is an activity of the body and the brain. But because we don't see it like that, we personalize it like I and me and myself. Then to protect this, then we go into this survival mode and we do things, and it is this karma that gives the fuel, you know, that is the fuel to run. So when you really realize the body as the body, brain as the brain, the activity of it, the mind is the, you know, activity of this, and when you realize it, then no more the struggle to survive. So no more you will do any action for your survival. So no more selfish activities. So no more you adding any fuel. So whatever that cost for this body to stay alive, when that runs out, that's it. Because you have realized there's no more such thing as I or me or myself. We created that because we were deluded. We didn't see that it is not the body. We thought it's the body. When you say, here I am, you put your hand up. What hand? It's in your body. So you're referring as I to the body. When the body dies, you say, I die. Is it correct or not?
It is. No, as in, like, that's what people say. And then they call, after someone passes away, they call it the body, and it's no longer the person. But
that's right. So we got personalized with this body, but really it's not the body. Body is the body. And the person who you call, the name was given by the parents.
yeah.
So if you really deep into this, who am I, then it comes, like Buddha pointed out, it's only some bunch of activities that's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
We are like an organism in the environment. We are sensitive. When we get stimulated, there is this seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, thinking goes on. That's it. So when we don't investigate, we call all this I, me, mine. That's where the problem starts. So Buddha is someone who realized to begin with there was no I. So there's no I to die. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
So whatever that kept causing the body to stay alive, it will go off, okay, it will go back to the earth, and that's it. So that's the realization. So that's where we want to get there. That's where we are going to head. So after this, we can listen to Bhante Punnaji. He's talking about this path, you know, what we need to develop in this path and why we have to do it and what are the results that can be expected from this practice. So from here to where? Okay, so sharp at 1 o'clock you can play it. Now it's 11 past, right, Pute?
Yes, Mahinansa.
It's during the break time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So sharp at 1 o'clock you can start playing Bhante Punnaji's talk, and then after the talk we can do a question and answer session. Okay. All right, so I wish you all well, and I hope you will remain calm and quiet, not go and watch TV and listen to this, that, and the other and play on the iPad or do things running around. But hope you will either choose to do walking meditation or sitting meditation. And then when the time comes, eating meditation. So you eat it mindfully, consciously, you eat with experiencing the taste as the taste. And when the taste comes, how you like some, how you don't like some, and how you react to that. When you like something, how you react, how you feel like you want more. And when you dislike something, how you react to it like you don't want it. So try to bring your mind to the middle. Eat with understanding. I'm eating to sustain the body, to give the energy to the body, to help develop the brain so I can understand. I can develop my understanding. So the food is there to get rid of the hunger and to support the body, not to jump up and down according to the tongue. If you start to become a slave to the tongue and you only eat what you like and you know, get rid of what you don't like, that's going to be a problem. So learn not to live emotionally or giving preferences to the emotions, to likeness and dislikeness, but always try to use a rational, logical mind and live a reasonable life. Not living blindly, but with open eyes. Know what you're doing. And if it's something good, healthy, even if it's bitter, even if it doesn't taste, eat it because it's needed for the body. Food is our medicine. It's a food that keeps us healthy, strong, gives the energy to the body, helps to develop the brain. Yeah. So if it's something good, eat. Don't learn to pick and choose. Give that bad habit up. Give it up. So it's a good time after you've done this, you can contemplate when you are eating. So eat everything. Whatever you take to your plate, learn not to waste. Eat until the last grain of rice or whatever it is, no leftovers. You only should serve what you can eat and finish. Only what you can eat. So eat only a bit that's going to keep you comfortable. Don't overeat. If you overeat, you'll be very uncomfortable. So eat how much you need to get rid of your hunger, you eat that. And live comfortably. And when you are eating, don't give preference to the likeness and dislikeness. Come to the middle and eat with the contemplation that you're eating it to support the life until you get enlightened, to purify the mind, to bring up the wisdom. Yeah. So make it a meditation. And also when you're eating, you can develop a lot of loving kindness, gratitude. From that, you can develop, how did this food come to my table? Who worked hard to do this? Who worked hard to give this free meal? No one will give you a free meal every day except your mom and dad. Yeah. So you start developing gratitude and then turn it to loving kindness and bless them, wish them, and then expand it to all beings, to the farmers, to everyone who is helping, who is transporting, who is selling, and who washed it, who cleaned it, who cooked it. And then after giving thanks to all beings, you will see all beings are involved. Everyone is in the chain. So developing loving kindness, you can eat. So eating also, you can make it into a meditation. So do that and have a rest if you like. You can read a Dhamma book, or you can listen to a Dhamma talk, or you can meditate. Walk, sit, and 1 o'clock we'll come back again and listen to Bhante Punjaji's talk. Okay, got it? Okay, then thank you very much, and I'll see you after the eating meditation.
Thank you, Minanansi.
All right, take care. Everyone, Saranai. May you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. Take care. Okay. So have you all got any questions to ask? There should be. Any questions? If not, maybe we can go one by one. I'm sure you have jotted down a few words, and let's see whether you understood the talk and some Pali words. Okay, who is first?
Anuji?
Um, I I remembered some of the things that were in it last time, so I had some of the words written down. So it was like a good refresher this time. So I think I understood it more than I did the first time we watched it.
Yeah. So is there any questions, Sita, you would like to ask?
No questions, but I didn't get what the name was for the 5 things that he talked about first, like the sila, saddha, like what
No,
was
Saddha comes first,
okay.
then Sila,
Mhm.
then Samadhi, then Panya.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what is Saddha?
Chadda was giving up attachments to things.
Mm, that can be part of it. It's more the dana, giving up the attachments. What is Saddha? More closely to it.
Saddha was taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha
Yes, okay. So
to
what
practice,
does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha?
like to practice the Dhamma and good behavior, to begin to discipline our behavior.
Now a few words are coming out. So you just said some good word. You mentioned good, good behavior. So if we go more deeper into it, what is Saddha? What does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha?
To practice the precepts.
Yes, what does it do to us?
Um, it helps us to clear our mind and become like better people.
Yes, Saddha means appreciating the goodness and wisdom Buddha had. So Buddha had not just some goodness and wisdom, but perfected version of goodness and wisdom. So I don't know whether you can imagine, that's beyond our imagination, a perfected goodness and wisdom. So to take refuge in the Buddha and what Buddha taught, and who is following Buddha, is to take refuge in that goodness and wisdom. So when we are taking refuge in the teachings, that means if you listen to the teaching properly, it's to put it to action. So when you put it to action, what will happen? You will become that. You will perfect your goodness and wisdom. So perfecting goodness and wisdom means you're getting more and more, you're becoming a good person. So you're getting closer to Buddha, you're becoming a good person. So Saddha means upholding the goodness. Yeah?
Yeah.
Upholding the goodness and the wisdom. This is what people have not understood. They say we have Saddha for the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and they see it as offering the dana, offering a light, offering some flowers, offering some incense, and they say, oh, we have Saddha. Yes, you do that because you appreciate Lord Buddha and you want to make him a special person, but really it has to go deeper than that. You have to uphold the Buddha's teachings and people who follow it, because it will lead you to be a good person, ultimately to perfect your goodness and wisdom. So having Saddha means understanding who Buddha is, understanding what Dhamma is, and then following that, and having the respect to the people who are doing this, that is Sangha, Buddha's children. They are the living ones who really depart the teaching and who inspires us. So you treat them with well respect and with reverence. So you uphold them. That's why you go and bow down. You put your ego down and you look up to them, saying, show us the way to be good, pure, and to be wise. So Saddha means upholding this goodness and wisdom. So day by day, we should recognize our mistakes, where we couldn't keep the 5 precepts, where our behavior went bad, where our speech went bad, and where did we think wrong, what type of wrong thoughts we were thinking, and we need to correct them day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. If we do this, we will become very pure. And meditation is the time that we take to do this. Instead of we focused on outside and doing things and being busy, we take time to look within, so we see these things. We take time to reflect on our behaviors, on our speech, on our thought, to see the thought process. We need to be quiet and we just need to watch it. So when we do that, well, then we get an opportunity to see our weaknesses, and then we get the chance to correct them. So a Buddhist is someone who should become good day by day, day by day, because they are people who put an attempt to make them good, because they are upholding the goodness and wisdom. So they are not just passively waiting for something to happen, but they're actively trying to purify themselves. So day by day, they will become good people. So Saddha means upholding this goodness and wisdom. Yeah? That's the first step. First step is to appreciate the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, appreciate the qualities they had, and value the perfected goodness and wisdom of Buddha. That's when we will start to follow the Buddha, when we understand, wow, it's so worth going behind Lord Buddha. Yeah? Okay, do you have any other questions? So I will discuss the other qualities maybe with someone else. We still got Dana, Sila, Bhavana, and Panya. Dana, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, yeah? So who is next?
Anupa?
I learned about the Pali words as well.
Good. So did you understand what Bante was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So after the Saddha, what was he explaining then?
Was it the Sila?
Yeah, Sila. So what does Sila means?
I think it was good behavior.
Yes. Good behavior, managing your emotions and, behaving in a good way. That means not being selfish. Selfish behavior is a bad behavior. Emotional behavior is a bad behavior. Good behavior is the selfless and, coming from a rational thinking mind, based on rational, logical thinking, and not bringing any hurt or harm or damage or suffering to any beings, but consciously behaving that your behavior is beneficial to others and to oneself, and it will not do any hurt, harm, damage, bring any suffering to others or to oneself. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Any question you want to ask? Is there anything that you didn't understand or anything you wanted to ask?
Not really.
You understood everything?
Yeah, most of it.
Okay, good. Okay, Putte. Who's next? Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll go to Sadhaka.
Oh yeah. I didn't understand all of it, but I understand most of it. Understood most of it.
Okay, so did you write down the words, Putte? Is there any? So ask me what you didn't understand. What parts you didn't understand?
Or just some of the words. Some like the words I didn't understand.
You write them down, the Pali word?
Oh, I forgot to.
Okay. So it's important to learn the Pali too. So wherever you go, when people talk, use these words, you will understand, because a lot of the monks and nuns, they use this very commonly, yeah?
Yeah.
This Pali root words. So it's good for you all to know. Then you know when they talk, you know what they're talking about. So maybe Putte, go back and write down, or you can write down now. I explained Saddha, yeah? And so Saddha, we spoke just before. It's about appreciating, valuing the goodness and wisdom, upholding the goodness, yeah? Sila is about good behavior. Sila means good behavior. Avoiding the bad behavior, getting rid of bad behavior, and practicing the good behavior. That is sila. Got it?
Yeah.
Are you writing down? Okay. Next two words that will come is samadhi and panya. We'll go through that too. Samadhi and panya. Is there anything you would like to ask from the talk, Puta?
Oh no, that's all. There wasn't really any questions.
Okay, we'll go through the other two as well. Now I'm going to talk to the others. Okay. So jot them down, yeah? While we are talking. Okay, thank you. So who is next?
Inali?
Hello.
Hello.
So the next word was samadhi,
Yes.
and what I took it to be, correct me if I'm wrong, was like meditation and concentrating the mind.
I didn't hear any word that he used concentration. Did you?
I mean, I think I just like elaborated in my head. I just assumed that it was just a state of mind that was just, yeah.
Yeah. Why I picked that up is because, yes, samadhi is being translated as concentration by the Western people, which is a mistake. So you have read the book, so you have heard it before. That's why you use the word. But when you practice, you will know it's not about concentrating the mind, like it's not something you do forcefully, but it's really freeing the mind. It's really just allowing the mind to settle into the moment, to be tranquil. So samadhi means purifying the mind. So when it's pure, it will tranquilize. So it's a tranquility of the mind. The correct, more correct word is tranquility of the mind is for the samadhi. Okay.
Yeah.
So the method to get there is meditation. How do we purify the mind? How do we purify the house? Well, if it's a floor, you get the sweep or the broom. I mean, you sweep it with the broom, or you get the mop and mop it and you clean it. Yeah, then the floor is pure. Depending on where, you know, it will determine the tools we are going to use. So how do we clean our mind? Meditation is a tool. When we meditate, the mind will become pure. And the quality of the pure mind is that it's tranquil. So samadhi is that tranquility of the mind, that pure mind, the state of the pure mind. Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Is there any question you would like to ask?
No, no questions.
Okay, good. Thank you. Who is next?
Chandima?
Hello.
Hello. So, what did you write down?
Oh, I actually just joined at 2 o'clock. So I only had like a little bit, but I have an idea after everyone spoke.
Yeah, okay. So, Saddha, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So, were you there when Bante was explaining about Panya?
No.
No, it's gone. Okay. So, maybe I should ask it from someone who joined. So, is there anything you would like to ask, Buddha?
No.
No? Okay. So, when we talk now, we will be talking about these words, so you can jot it down, yeah?
Yeah.
So for the future, you know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Who is next?
I'm the only one left, Mehin answer.
It's you.
Yes.
So what is panya?
The understanding, like understanding the Dhamma in the right way, I think.
Yeah, what is Dhamma?
The teachings of the Buddha.
Yeah, what is it about, the teachings of the Buddha?
So the Punjaji Ham said understanding what the meaning of anicca, dukkha, and anatta is. But I think you guys
Yeah.
know that too.
So what does it mean, anicca, dukkha, and anatta? What are they?
So anicca is understanding that the world comes and goes, it arises and decays.
Mm.
Dukkha is understanding that that our desires are constantly in conflict with the reality of life, which is there's always going to be suffering and there's so much insecurity, and that this is a source of unhappiness.
Mm.
And then anatta, I'm reading from my notes by the way, so I don't remember all of this. Anatta is that we don't own anything in the world, and even like not even our own body, and that there's nothing that we can call mine, therefore there's nothing to call myself. But I had a question because the talk begins with talking about 4 main stages, and then there are 5 stages described, like sutta and chaga. Do those combine into one, or are they 2 separate ones in their own?
No, sutta means listening.
Yeah.
Chaga means giving up the attachments.
So how does that fit in with this saddha, sila, samadhi, panya?
Well, these are the qualities, or these are the things we need to develop when we develop our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So in different suttas, Buddha had pointed out different sets. So when you put it together, really, there comes many qualities. So this was in one particular sutta, I guess. So it begins with saddha, then the sutta means you have to learn and understand it and retain it, memorize it, so then you can practice. Chaga is giving up the attachments, yeah? And then also sila, practicing the good behavior. Then comes virya. Virya means being able to put the effort to get rid of the unwholesome or the impurities, and then developing the good and purifying the mind. We call right effort. So you need to have that virya. Then the samadhi comes. Samadhi means you actively purifying the mind to tranquility. So meditation comes then. Then the wisdom part, training your mind to look in line with the realities of life. Panya means you're understanding the realities of life. You're understanding things as it is, like how things are. A lot of the time, our thinking is not in line with the reality. That's where the problem is. So being wise means you aligning with the reality. So when we really go down to the deep level, it comes down, like, for example, I'll tell you. Now I have a tissue box here, best friend, in the mornings. So I say, this is a tissue box. See, the eyes, the light falls into this tissue box and it stimulates the retina, the cells there, and then that message goes to the brain. You know what the eye really records is a color, but then what I see is tissue box. I said I see a tissue box. So that's one level of thinking. So, and then I also can say, oh, this is nice. Or someone else can look at it and say, oh no, that's rubbish. Or many people can see it in many different angles. So now, if we penetrate into the thing called the tissue box, let's have a look in reality. Is there a tissue box out there? Is that what I saw? Let's investigate that and see. So now, when I say, oh, there's a tissue box here. So I'm looking outside on this table. I'm saying I'm seeing a tissue box. But in reality, what's really happening is there's an image of the light being reflected from there. It stimulates cells in the eye, in the retina, and then they record the color and color of that light frequency. Really, that's what it does. What we see is the frequency of the color. So you need to do a bit of physics and then you will understand that exactly. And I'm not going to go to physics because it's easy for you to learn the physics and find the truth about that. What we see is the frequency of the colors, frequency of the light is the colors. So then what happens? This message is taken to the brain. And in the eye, we have a lens. And that lens, when this light passes through that lens and goes to the retina, what happens? We get an inverted image. So what my eye see is actually inverted image of this. So then what happens? This image, this message is taken to the brain by the optic nerve. And then what happens in the brain? Some editing goes on. So with that editing, now I'm seeing the correct way, a box, not upside down, but it's in the correct way. So now my question is, am I really seeing the direct data that's came through the eye, direct light that was reflecting from that box? Or now what I see is an image formed in my brain. Which one do I see?
An image formed in your brain.
So when I say, oh, tissue box, I look at out there and say the tissue box, but where is it really in? It's in the brain. It's in my mind. So this is what we call the delusion. Can you see there's a problem here? Something is formed in here, and I'm associating that out there, thinking it's out there. Is that correct thinking?
No.
No. So this is what is called a delusion. Yeah, we are deluded. We think everything is out there, but what we experience is something that's made in our own mind. You understand that bit?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so then let's question about this, the nature of the tissue box then. Then now we have to talk about the tissue box not out there, what's inside my head. If we are to talk about the tissue box, we need to talk in two ways. One, about the thing that I'm seeing, then I have to talk about what's in the mind, the quality of the thing that is made in the mind. And what's made in the mind, that image came as a result of many conditions coming together. The light had to be reflected on that, so the light was an essential factor. And the eye, the lens had to work, and the retina cells in the retina, the rods and cones have to be there working in order. Then there has to be this message taken to the brain. The optic nerve has to be in order. Then when this optic nerve takes this message to the brain in the visual cortex, that cells have to work together to edit it and show you a correct way image, corrected image. So there's many causes and conditions coming together. This tissue box came to be what I see. Buddha called this, he explained the process. Chakkuncha paticca rupecha upajjati chakku viññāna. Tinnang sangati passo. Chakkuncha means this eye, not eye doesn't mean this muscly eye, that activity. Yeah. So the chakkuncha, eye, paticca rupecha, that image, and chakkuncha paticca rupecha upajjati chakku viññāna. Viññāna is recognizing that. So the eye had to work. So the many conditions were there for the eye to, get stimulated, and it reacted to that. And then the image was formed, and there has to be another energy to recognize that. That is called the viññāna. We call it eye perception, has to arise. Then with all these three conditions coming together, we see. Seeing take place. Yeah? Get it?
Yeah.
So if you really investigate what you saw, we have to go back to that. It's different causes and conditions coming together. This seeing took place. So the real nature of what we saw is, Buddha said, anicca dukkha anacca, because all these conditions that, compile to bring this result, they all come and go on its own accord. It's none of them are in our control. You see? So this image, in Pali, it's called rupa. Write down that. This is also another word that's being really misunderstood and mistranslated, because a lot of people don't know science, don't know neurology, haven't studied physics. They just went and learned and translated it to something. So the rupa is called, you will find many different words. But the closest it can come to what Buddha said is the mental image. That's why it's called rupa. So this rupa, the quality, the characteristic of this mental image that we are experiencing now is anicca. Anicca means it's not according to your wish. It's you cannot really personalize it. You can't say it's mine because it's not under your control. This rupa and also all these conditions brought it together. If you look one by one, they are not under your control. They're not under your power. So when something is not under your control, you can't keep it according to your wish. So when it's not in accordance with your wish, it brings a lot of stress. So this stress is called the dukkha, the suffering. Because it's anicca, the quality is dukkha. Because we like to experience pleasant things forever if possible, but we can't. They come and go. It's impermanent. So, we like to experience pleasant things, but they will come and go. We don't like to experience unpleasant things, but they will happen to us. So this is a stress for us. This process is not in our control. So it brings suffering, it brings stress. This is the dukkha. So this is a process. This is an activity in a dynamic environment. So there is no static thing to take as a soul or I or me or myself. This isn't just an activity that comes and goes. It's an impermanent come and go. When the right causes and conditions there, they come to be. When it's not there, it's not there. So Buddha said this process is anatta. Atta means a self. Anatta means there's no self here. Atta means also like something valuable, static, that will not get destroyed. That is what they call the self. You know, everyone thought the self is eternal. When you die, the self will go with the God and then live there for eternity. So when we say self, it's an eternal thing. It will not, you know, disappear. It's not something fragile. So here Buddha says this is a very fragile experience. This is a very fragile process. It's just a dynamic, you know, process. So this anicca, dukkha, anatta is the actual quality of what we experience. Do you get that? Are you with me?
I do get it.
Eh?
They do not.
Okay. So what we experience, the real quality of what we experience is anicca, dukkha, anatta. We just cannot control them. And so we can't say it mine. It's not under our control. When something is under our control, we can call mine. But we cannot control this. So we can't say this is mine. So when something is not yours, you know, this includes even to your body. Even the body is a mental image. No one has seen their body. It's only a mental image we see as the body. So even the body we can call mine. So how can we say my, me, I? So when you get deeper and deeper, you start to understand in this experience, when we don't see this reality, this anicca, dukkha, anatta, this is the real the characteristic of our experience. But when we don't really investigate this, we get into a dichotomy. We get into an object out there and someone who experiences it. So two things get we created, the outside object and the one who experiences it. This becomes I, that becomes out there the tissue box. So I see the tissue box. But in reality, what happened? You saw the light came, fall into I, went there, and a mental image came. No one was doing it. So in reality, when you look into the activity, you can't find a capital I, a person doing it. You can't find. Where are we going to call the EYE the I, or the light the I, or this color the I, or the perception the I, or the brain work the I? What are we going to say? Or the thinking the I? There's nothing. When you really investigate, you can't find an I on this. But when we don't investigate into the process as how things come to be, we start to exist. This notion of existence comes. I'm here, the tissue box is out there, that is existing out there, and I'm here. I'm also, when the minute the sense of I comes in, I exist. So this existence comes to be. Object and subject comes as a result of this. Do you get me?
I think so. I think I'll have to.
We don't really get the real picture when we don't investigate. Two sides are created, an outside and inside. One who experience, that is the subject. What you see becomes object. But Buddha got awakened to this. Buddha is called, there's a Pali word, Tathagata. Have you heard Tathagata, Samma, Sambuddha? Have you heard that word Tathagata? So tat agata means in Pali, when you break it, it's like arrived at that. Tat agata means arrived at that, arrived at the truth. So this is the truth that he got awakened to. We are all sleeping, dreaming. We all kind of live with, the subject and the object relationship. So when things exist, we have these thoughts going on, and then we get emotional, and then we feel, and a lot of it is stress, and we suffer. But when you can get into this real understanding, you start to disassociate. You start to see, wow, I'm only experiencing things in my mind. So why should keep on going on and on and on and on and on about this? So they stop thinking. So they stop becoming emotional. They're going to become more and more calm, tranquil. And then they start to really see this for themselves. They will realize this. This is the truth. Now, today, what I'm saying is what Buddha said and what scientists are saying. But you haven't realized it. So we need to realize this within us. We have the capacity. We have the intelligence to do that. And wisdom is that. But we need to develop that.
So this might be a silly question, but
It's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, meditate. So we're meant to be not engaging with the thought, not letting the train go along, to stop or like let it come and go, let the thoughts come and go. But then how are we meant to then develop our wisdom if we're not using that quiet mind to dig deeper into the thoughts that we're having? Not like the, oh, I need to go to the shop sort of thoughts, but like the more philosophical thoughts that might come along.
Hang on. First, what these automatic thoughts that keep on coming, they are the habitual thoughts. So they're all bound by the five senses. They're all believing in what you see and what you hear, and it's perception driven.
Yes.
Which we know is false. It's not showing us the real reality. Yeah. So the real reality is hidden behind that. So to know that, we really need to investigate deep. We really need to use our rational, logical minds in that certain direction where we can really dig deep into how this come to be. That's when we will find the answer. Yeah. So we can practice that, but not at the beginning, because first we need to have a calm mind. Because if you don't have a calm mind, if those habitual thoughts are flowing in, you don't get an opportunity to keep on asking about the experiences, because you get drifted away. Here, there, everywhere, emotions, mood swings. You cannot really focus and do one thing. So that's why first we need to calm ourselves, stop these the thoughts that's misleading us. So that's why we use the thoughts at the beginning that will calm us, the good thoughts, because we know the other relationship between when we use these thoughts to do with I, me, and myself. We know what happens in our body. It goes into this fight or flight reaction, and stress comes. Yeah. I will show you a clip on this fight or flight reaction. While you're watching something, I'll go and get this clip where it shows in, as soon as we see something, we think, and then how the body goes into this stress. I will bring that clip now, where you will understand. So anything to do with, this self-survival, self-centered thinking, we go into fight or flight reaction. So that is the stress. So we want to reduce that. We want to release that. We want to relax. So we start to change the thinking. We are going to be selective about thinking now. We are not going to think on selfish thoughts. We are going to think selflessly. So when we do that, there's an internal shift, transformation that takes place. Then getting into a stress cycle, we are going to go in a relaxing cycle and calm, not getting emotional, but getting calm, because these messages will go in the parasympathetic part, not in that sympathetic part that takes you into the fight or flight reaction. So when the parasympathetic part is activated, when you practice your genuine thoughts, or when the selfless thoughts, it will help to calm us down. So in that calmness, you can experience your experiences without thinking, without this habitual thinking. In that calm state, you can just experience the experience. And if you have heard this Dhamma, this is what Buddha said about the experience. How did this come to be? What is the real nature of this memory? What is the real nature of what I'm seeing now? Then if you know this theory, you can investigate it. So then a different world will open up. Different realizations will come, but that will be through your own experience. This is only this knowledge that you're hearing from outside is only to ignite it, to look in the right corner, to look it into the right angle. But when you learn to look at, it all depends on from which angle we see, what the answers we get. If there is a good person, but if you don't like them, they may have come from the heaven and they are doing some angelic work, but for some reason, if you don't like them, you don't like anything they do. You see, they are like the devil. Yeah. And there are some people, because you like them, you can't see the evil things they do. Because you like them, they're your friend, you really don't see the damage they are doing. You say them as an angel. So this all depends on the angle you look at. What you see in life depends on the angle you look at. So we look at from wrong angles. We look at from an angle from point of this existing. So Buddha said things exist in the mind. When these causes and conditions coming together, that's how it comes to be. When these causes and conditions are not there, it's not going to be. Yeah. So to come to this realization, we do need the calmness in the mind, because it's in that deep calmness, when the mind is still, mind becomes very sharp. It can cut through anything. It can see through anything. I can explain to you how that happens if you think how that is going to happen. Like, when we are thinking, depending on the thoughts, we get different glands being stimulated, and we get different hormones, and they run all over the body and in the brain. So more you have chemicals in the brain, it really comes in contact with even the nerves, the neurons that does this rational thinking process. So I'll tell you where you can see easily how these chemicals in the brain interacts with our thinking and how it dulls thinking is, now you won't know. I think you can understand. You should be able to understand when someone is angry, when someone has so much fear. What's happening is a lot of chemicals are forming in the brain, and they are directly interacting with all this rational thinking, the neurons that makes the rational thinking pathways. So what happens when you're so angry or so frightened, any emotion is like this, when they interact with your nerve cells, they block the chemicals that process the rational logical thinking. So when you're angry or when you're really upset or afraid, you really can't think straight. This is exactly what happens when you're falling in love, when you have lust, when you're afraid, when you have anger. You really can't think straight. So those days, I remember our adult parents, grandparents used to say, if they see you have fallen in love, they would say, don't make important decisions now. Just wait. Just wait. Just give some time. Time will solve a lot of things, because they knew we were under the influence of lust. Those chemicals will not let us see the truth about that person. So when you're falling in love and when you are under the influence of lust, everything appears so sweet and good and you're like in heaven. Only after 2-3 years after the marriage, you start to see the real person and you say, marriage is a living hell on earth. That's what today people say. I didn't create it. That's what people say. Anyway, so when people are angry, the same thing. If they make important decisions, they are bound to be wrong, because your thinking is influenced by that anger. There's a lot of chemicals here. It didn't help you to process the rational, logical thinking, because the neurons that was doing it was affected. And those are the times that this, when we are emotional, these chemicals that drives these emotions affects our neurons and thinking. And when we drink, when we take tobacco, or you get drunk with alcohol, or you take drugs, exactly the same thing happens in more severe way. These chemicals are, when they are in the brain, they interact with your neurons that process the rational logical thinking. So if you see drunken people, you will see they don't do rational logical things. They behave like zombies. They don't know where they are, what they're doing. Some vomit, they eat the vomit. Some go and sleep on the floor. It's a party because they got too drunk. They're sleeping on the floor. Everyone else is shamed in that family, but they don't care. And they wake up and they go, where am I? I'm sure you know these characters. So when your brain is influenced by these chemicals, whether it's from an outside source or from inside, Buddha points that it affects your thinking. So it's very important that we learn not to take any of these damaging chemicals from outside, and not to allow these chemicals to accumulate in our brain by being emotional. So when you are emotional, the same damage happens. So that's why it's important to learn to manage the emotions, learn to get rid of them, and learn to be calm. So when you are calm, the brain actually gets strengthened. The cells in the brain, the neurons, especially that process the rational logical thinking, process the understanding, gets strengthened. And when they are strong, your understanding gets deepened. Your rational logical thinking gets more profound, and you'll be able to understand. And if you look into Einstein's life, he was a very peaceful person. He didn't have much emotions. A lot of people say he was a bad family, whatever, but he didn't have emotions. He was a very calm, composed man who was only, whose brain was working only if he wants to think, he will think in that line. So he saw more things, he understood more things than a normal person did, because he could focus, he could understand. His brain had that capacity, and he had developed that calmness. Okay, so it's an important fact that we need to calm ourselves if we want to see the reality, if we want to deepen our understanding, if we want to deepen our rational logical thinking. Yeah. So what I will do, there is a talk given by Bhante Punyaji about Panya. Let's listen to that. While you're listening to that, I will try to get that video clip about how this senses works, and when we see something, or how, when these five senses register something, how we start to process thinking, and with the thinking how this body gets activated, the physiology of it, how the emotion comes to be, and after that what we do. So I will try to get a clip so you can understand it in a deep way, seeing exactly what's happening in the body. Until I send it to you, I will email it to you. Until that, let's watch Bhante Punyaji talking about the Panya. So you can deepen your understanding now that I touched this subject. Waking into the reality. Waking up from the existence. And so today, for the rest of the time, you can watch that documentary if you like. So I hope you got the point, how we see, how we hear, smell, taste, touch, how these senses, when they get stimulated, they send the messages to the brain, and how the brain interprets, and then how we start to think, form concepts, and how the concept influence for the emotion to arouse, and then how we spring into action from that tension building inside. So in order to free ourselves from all these stresses, from anger, anxiety, worries, lust, sadness, depression, and to find freedom from all that. So you need to understand how they come to be. So we need to understand, this is what Buddha said, it's pretty much like the neuroscience, learning about how your senses and how the brain works. So then you can have control over. So Buddha pointed out, it's your thinking that creates this unnecessary stress, the suffering. So we need to be careful about what we think and how we express that, because they all have consequences. Either it will lead to stress, or it will lead to for us to be calm. So you need to be careful as how you handle your mind, how you think. So I think we have come to the end of the session. So we can meet next week. So you've been with me from this morning till now, and we meditated today for nearly about 2 hours, which was good. I think it was kind of experience for you, and I'm happy that most of you said you didn't feel it was too long, but it was good. And from the questions that you asked, we went into really talk about who am I, and how this concept of I have come to be. So we will get there in to the deep water bit by bit. So now that you have observed the 8 precepts, so today take care of yourselves. Don't do things that will arouse your emotions, but continue to stay calm, so you can do walking meditation, sitting meditation, and then take something light for the evening, and keep your stomach light so you can actually practice. And then you can watch these documentaries. Maybe for the few people who have logged in, you can find their emails and send this Buddhism at the Global Age of Technology and Bhante Punnaji's talks that we watched today. So they can watch, and later when you send the bulk email, you can attach them. But for now, you can send it to these few people so they can watch it this afternoon if you would like to. So hope you will take care of your sila, the behavior part, and we'll continue to practice to calm the mind and think in the right way, the proper way, so you'll be able to realize the realities, and you will become wise one day. So what happens when we start to realize the truths? Actually, we will not really be interested in getting entangled, personalizing things, attaching things, bonding to things, because you understand, more you personalize, more you own things, more you say this is mine, that's mine, more headaches will come, more stresses will come. So when you understand, you start to appreciate the freedom from these attachments, and you will spend more and more time on learning about you, how your senses work, brain works, how you think, and how these emotions come to be, how to be free from that. More and more you will go inward, and you will like to live a peaceful life. So that's what's supposed to happen when you deepen your understanding. So one fine day, when you get the full realization, you will be free from all kinds of physical and mental suffering, and you will not be even reborn. So that'll be the end of it. Because when you realize to begin with, there is no I, so there's no one to die. So that's the end of the game. So hopefully one fine day you will get there in this very lifetime. So I guess that's the best thing a human being can do, to really find the truth about ourselves, the world. And in that journey, we will free ourselves from all kinds of stresses and suffering, and we will enjoy more and more peace of mind, and we will be living happily. So I guess that's the aim. At the end of the day, the human quest is to live peacefully and happily, and we will get there. That's what the Buddha had shown us, how to get there. That's what the Dhamma is. And when you follow the Dhamma, you will benefit from that. So, okay. So, I hope you all enjoyed the session today from the morning. And I wish you all the luck, and wish you a good week ahead. And let us share the merits with the departed relatives and friends, and with all the devas, and with all beings. May them and all beings benefit from the merits that we have gained today by calming our mind, by the good behavior and deepening our understanding. We have created the positive energy. So may they all benefit from these merits, and one fine day may they also be able to find the freedom from suffering. And also, let's make the aspiration that may all the merits that we have generated today bring causes and conditions for us to find the Satpurusashra. That means to find the association with the good and the wise. And let us be blessed with the good company, and not find the association with the foolish and the wicked until we attain Nibbana. And also, may this energy merits help us to deepen our understanding into the noble truths, and then be able to find freedom from physical and mental suffering, and experience the bliss of Nibbana. So may you all attain Nibbana as soon as possible. And I also would like to pay my humble respect to Bante Devarakita Thero and to Punyaratana Thero for inviting me to conduct the Paramita Buddhist Vihara Youth Group. And may they also benefit from these merits. And may you all and your parents, your teachers, your family members, your siblings, your friends, and may all beings benefit from these merits. May you all gain good health and long life. And may you all find success in everything you do, and may all your good aspirations come true. And one fine day, may you all attain Nibbana as soon as possible. May you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. Sukhi hotu, Teruvan Saranai. Sopatewa. See you next week. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mahinmansa.
See you.
Too.